Please subscribe for more scary videos.
I was 12 years old living with my grandparents. I'd been dropped off at their house to stay for a couple weeks during winter break. It was my second time back, and their house always kind of creeped me out. It was on a large property, at least 20 acres or so. It was filled with long, slender trees and wildlife. Their house was small and creaked with every step. It always used to scare me because in the middle of the night it would creak, and I'd always believed that the shadow people haunted the house. I was only 8 then, so I've now grown past that fear. Anyway, after about a week staying, me and my cousins wanted to play tag in the house because we had nothing else to do. Keep in mind my cousins were only 7 and 8 years old. We were playing normally until the 7-year-old one slipped and ran into the wall. He started to cry. We went over to him and noticed a hole in the wall. It was then that I saw a small piece of paper. I opened it and it read, "Under the big tree." After about 10 minutes of me and my cousins arguing, I decided to tell our grandparents. They told us that we should go look for whatever treasure it was leading to. Now I realized it was probably just a plan by my grandparents to allow us to have some fun, although I played along so I wouldn't spoil the fun for my cousins. The next day after lunch we went outside, looking for a big tree. We discovered many big trees, but nothing. That was until we saw in the distance one bigger than the others. We explored towards that area. When we got there, we started to dig around it with the shovel we had. We were about to leave when we hit something hard. We dug around the object until we began to see what it was. It was another box with a piece of paper. I read it out loud. "It lives in this area." I got goosebumps. We were walking back when my cousins wanted to play hide and seek, as it was still light out and we were fairly close to the house. They said since the area was huge, we had to yell Marco every 30 seconds. I was a hider, so I quickly ran away from the area. I was fairly far away when I tripped over a branch. I was knocked unconscious. I remember waking up to the sound of crickets. I opened my eyes and froze. It was pitch black. I was still dizzy and confused from the fall. I slowly got up and realized my head was bleeding. I couldn't tell what direction I was headed or hear very well. I started to look around when I heard people yelling in the distance. I couldn't tell what direction, so I yelled back. I decided it was best to stay in place until people came to me. That's when I heard it. Crackling branches nearby. I was alert, thinking it could be a coyote. I yelled again. They yelled back, this time sounding a bit louder. I looked around, still dizzy, and saw it, a coyote. It started crawling towards me, slowly. It then started to show a shape of a human. Still confused and dizzy, I asked it to help me. I then remembered I had a small flashlight in my pocket. I shined it and saw a shoulder, then a hand, and then its face. It was no wolf nor a man. It was skinny and pale. It had long limbs and no fur. Its eyes reflected the light back towards me. I was frozen in fear. My flashlight fell from my hand. I then heard it approaching. I finally had the courage to run. I heard a loud screech and remember waking up in the hospital. They said they found me in the woods with my head bleeding. I had suffered from a concussion. I still don't know to this day if I was just delusional due to the concussion, or if it was a real experience. All I know, though, is that I will never see wildlife the same again.